It's very possible that no one else in the entire world has ever seen something like this happen, but I won't hold you up, so let's get into today's Mystery Madness. In the late evening of March 1956 at White Sands Missile Test Range Air Force Base in New Mexico, an Air Force sergeant named Jonathan Lovett was assisting Major William Cunningham on a mission to recover scattered debris from a recent rocket that they had just finished testing. The two of them went off into the desert to search for debris as they normally did, and all of a sudden, Cunningham jumped at the screams coming from Sergeant Jonathan. Cunningham thought that he probably got bitten by a rattlesnake due to the high number of snakes and other desert animals in the area, and thankfully Cunningham was trained for medical emergencies, so he quickly ran across the dune to help Jonathan when he witnessed something that he couldn't believe. He watched Jonathan being dragged by a very long serpentine-like arm that was wrapped around his legs, but when he looked closer, it wasn't from some animal in the area. The arm was leading up to a silver disc that was about 15 to 20 feet hovering in the sky. Cunningham was extremely shocked. I mean, what can you do when you see something that you and the world believes doesn't exist? And so while Cunningham was paralyzed in fear, he watched Jonathan get pulled up into the unidentified aircraft, and then it pulled off at an unnatural high rate of speed. Cunningham immediately stumbled toward his Jeep and radioed for assistance, and when the armed forces arrived, they did an extensive search of the area looking for Jonathan, while Cunningham was taken back to the base for treatment and examination after he told him what he just witnessed. The funny thing about what happened was other military personnel back at the base confirmed that they did detect an unidentified object on the radar around the same time frame that Cunningham and Jonathan were experiencing this otherworldly abduction. And at this point, several search parties were sent out into the desert looking for Jonathan, but they didn't find anything for a full 3 days. And when they did find something, what they found was absolutely awful. Jonathan's body was found completely mutilated. His tongue had been cut out of his mouth, his eyes had both been completely removed, and according to reports, his privates along with his anus was expertly removed as well. According to former Green Beret Captain William English in the Air Force Medical Examination report, the coroner allegedly reported that the organs of Jonathan Lovett were removed with surgical precision. He also stated that when they found his body, it was completely drained of blood. But there was no vascular collapse, which is something that would normally be associated with a death of blood loss, meaning that he didn't bleed to death. Unsurprisingly, the United States Air Force fully denies that this incident actually took place, but Captain William English claims that he was the one that was asked to analyze a 600-page Air Force investigation report titled Project Grudge Report 13 while he was assigned to a U.S. security service at former Royal Air Force Base in Chickson, England. Project Grudge was one of the earliest Air Force programs tasked with investigating sightings of unidentified flying objects after World War II. And it was the precursor to the better-known Project Blue Book that has since had many of their documents declassified, and though Grudge Reports 1 through 12 had been declassified along with 14, there is no official account for Project Grudge Report 13. Reports of unexplained mutilations carried out on both humans and animals have left investigators dumbfounded for decades, leading people to believe that the perpetrators might be otherworldly beings conducting biological experiments on animals and humans on Earth, with animals ending up in eerily similar conditions. But if you want to hear another story even more mysterious than this one, watch this video here.